To be a Steeler is to consider others before you consider yourself. To protect your brother, even from himself. To give support at your own expense. And when wearing the black and gold suit of armor, and make sure nobody desecrates it, disrespects it. Most importantly, we ourselves don't dishonor it. From previous legends who have donned the black and gold. These virtues I learned while playing for the Steelers are what make the legacy of the black and gold timeless. They are passed down in the locker room from the steel curtain to anyone who valiantly wears the black and gold. Creating a brotherhood that is deeper than money, business, and winning. To be a Steeler is to consider others before you consider yourself. This is our culture, Steeler culture. Now, here are your hosts, Rob and Dan, the SteelTwins.
What is going on, guys? Welcome to Steeler Culture Podcast, episode 29, presented by SeatGeek.com for the Steelers and Jaguars Week 8 game preview. Yeah, shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring today's podcast episode. You guys want to go to any Steelers games, any home games, any Heinz Field games, now is the best time because we, starting with this game, have 3 straight home games. Three straight versus the Jags this Sunday, versus the Titans literally a week from now, and versus the Packers. 3 straight home games. So if you guys want to make the trip down to Pittsburgh, or if you're already from the Pittsburgh area and want to hit up a Steelers game, now's the best time since we have 3 straight, and it's right around the holiday season, right into November. So you guys can go to SeatGeek, get your Steelers tickets, man. And the best part, man, they'll throw you a bone. Code SteelTwins at checkout gives you, was it 15% off your first SeatGeek purchase?
$20 off.
$20 off, actually. $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase. So you guys can definitely go look into that. Go to Steelers game, save yourself some money in the process. So shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring today's podcast episode as we talk about Steelers versus Jags. These are 2 teams that are kind of on a hot streak, quietly.
On a win streak, as the Jags, after starting 1-2, they have won 4 straight, and the Steelers are winning 2 straight.
Yes.
So both of them are they got some momentum, at the moment. They're riding on some sort of momentum.
Yeah, these are 2 teams kind of on a hot streak right now, trying to just continue to stack wins in an interesting division. And as well as, the Jags are a very up-and-coming team. I'd say that they're one of the more fast-rising young teams in the NFL. They remind me a lot of the Bills. They're not as elite as the Bills, if you want to even...
At this point, do you want to consider the Bills elite?
I don't know.
Considering what's happening
It's up in the air. But what I mean by that is you see their potential. You see everything that they've invested in. You see where they were and how much they've grown. And you know that they can be a top team, man. The Jags are already showing that 4 games straight is a huge reason for that, man. Although I will say, the reason I say they're kind of like the Bills is because you don't know exactly what they are yet because they're still young. And you don't know if they're good or you don't know if they're bad or you don't know if they're just as good as who they go up against. They're just very inconsistent.
Yeah.
They're tough to tell, honestly. It's one of those things where you just don't know yet. You know what they have, you know the potential, but they're not reaching that yet.
No, they're nowhere near that, but we all know that they are a team on the rise with who they have at head coach and quarterback and the talent all around the offense and defense.
Yes.
And, it's an old friend or an old bitter rival for the Steelers. It's the Jaguars back to the AFC Central days. You know, we have some rich history with one another.
Yeah, bad history as well.
Recently, bad history.
Because I believe the Jags lead the series 16-15. It's very even. But recently, outside the past couple games we've had in the regular season and Ben's final years, we all know the type of history we have against the Jags. Unfortunately, in the playoffs a couple years ago.
Just Jacksonville in general.
And it pretty much ruined what was definitely our last true great chance to win.
Our best chance.
With probably the last time we had a true great elite team.
Yeah.
Truthfully, honestly. The Jags have always had a number. This is going to be a tough game. I know it's in Heinz Field, but at the same time, the Jags not only have our number, they're on a little bit of a mini bye after last Thursday's game.
Yeah.
They won. They won very ugly versus the Saints, I would say, because they turned the ball over a couple times. They left points off the board. They almost let the Saints come back, honestly. And honestly, if the Saints could have taken advantage of some of the early mistakes the Jags were doing, it could have been a completely different outcome.
Mm-hmm.
So the Jags won last week versus the Saints, but they did it pretty ugly, not entirely convincing. The Jags, not yet in my opinion, aren't truly convincing yet. Again, you see the potential. You know what they have. You know they're only going to grow. This is Peterson's second year with the team. This is Lawrence's third year. We all know what they have been through in recent years. Mm-hmm. So to see where they've come now it's been fun to watch from a fan aspect, from a football fan aspect.
Yeah, and having that mini bye week, they definitely took that time to heal and look over tape and look exactly what they get better at overall.
Alan Olive says it perfectly in chat. They are very, very well rested. And you got to think, man, watching that Steelers game last week, they're going to take advantage of the continuous errors the Steelers just seem to make week by week.
Yeah.
Now, we'll give the Steelers this. I will definitely say they earned that victory last week. Because they came back. They came back from a deficit, and they won in very good fashion, I would say, because they had two back-to-back game-winning touchdowns. The one to tie the game and the one to take the game. So I will say that they absolutely earned that win last week, and the defense showed up in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and that fourth quarter alone was, without a doubt, the best the Steelers ever looked all season.
Yes.
And I can only hope that is just not a one-time appearance or a one-time moment for the Steelers.
Exactly.
I can only hope, considering that they came off a bye and are coming off a hard-fought, earned victory over the LA Rams, they can use this in order to start or build a foundation of what is going to be a long rest of the season. 12 straight games we still have.
Right. But we also said the same thing after the Raiders game.
Yeah, you're right. You're exactly right.
We did say the same thing after the Raiders game.
Because the thing with this team is consistency is key.
But it has not been key for how many years now?
No. And despite that we looked very good in the fourth quarter, we got a hard-fought victory, and we're 4-2.
Somehow.
Our rankings are still bottom of the barrel in the NFL.
Yes, they are.
We still got problem after problem on offense and defense.
Yeah, I don't know how this team's 4-2. They are seriously, and it's been this way for many years. I mean, I know it's a continuous saying, but truthfully, it's the same old Steelers. They just win in ugly fashion and
no style points. No style points, like Tomlin likes to say.
But they're always winning by the skin of their teeth. Truthfully, they're just, I don't know how they're winning. I don't know how they won 2 straight, but they're winning somehow, some way. It's not convincing whatsoever. It's not pretty at all.
Yeah,
but they are winning.
Yeah, they're being outplayed. When it comes to yardage, we're not even. Our yardage isn't even about half of what our opposing team has, yet somehow we're coming out with a victory.
But the yards came up in the fourth quarter, as did the red zone drives and the red zone scores.
Yeah.
Something the Steelers haven't done all season. The red zone, they were 3-3 in the red zone. They got 3 rushing touchdowns last week.
One of them was because of a TJ Watt interception.
Thank God for that, man.
But two of them were back-to-back.
Yeah.
In a game or in a moment, in a time where before the bye, we had 0. 0 red zone touchdowns.
0 rushing touchdowns for that fact.
Exactly.
So I don't know what awoke the Steelers offense in that fourth quarter, but whatever it was.
Or Matt Canada's emotions.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it needs to return.
I'm glad it happened, and it has to continue. And not just in the fourth quarter. We can't always be and Sayamalu said it himself this past week. He said, we did good in that fourth quarter, but we can't always come back in the fourth quarter.
No.
You can't always be a fourth quarter team. What you did in that fourth quarter, you got to spread it through all 4 quarters.
And in this game, they're going to have to because the Jags are inconsistent, but this is going to be another really good test for this Steelers team.
Yeah.
I'd say we're definitely facing one of the more younger, one of the more hot and rising teams in the NFL right now with the Jags. And again, they always play us tough, even though it's at Heinz Field.
Yeah.
So this is definitely going to be one of those tough matchups. It's going to be very similar to any other Steelers game you've witnessed for the last how many years, so don't get it twisted. But the Steelers team needs to take what they have been doing the last 2 games, especially last week versus the Rams in the fourth quarter. They need to take that momentum and build on it. But the problem is we've been saying that after every single win they've had, and they haven't done it.
Yeah.
So when are they going to do it? Until it happens, I'm not expecting it. Until we see consistency, until we see week-to-week progress, I'm not expecting anything, truthfully.
No.
I will give you a round of applause. I'll give you a good job. Let's do it again, though.
A big thumbs up.
That's
Props
all
to you.
That's all I ask is let's do it again. Whatever Matt Canada did, let's do it again. If he even did anything, I still have my theories or my thoughts that maybe he didn't have full influence.
Yeah, that's why the sign ain't going anywhere,
No,
people.
I don't care.
Not even this one. Not even this one.
No, they both suck. They both can go together.
Yeah.
Canada's only had 2 decently called games, which was the Raiders and it was the Rams.
But that Rams game, again, was just the fourth quarter.
Yes.
The Raiders game was sort of balanced. But then again, that's Josh McDaniels and the Raiders for you.
Right.
But whatever it was last week, we got to see it more and more.
Absolutely.
More and more.
But my concern is the Jags defense it's not pretty. I'd say it's solid because
with where their total defense ranks is actually 26 in the NFL.
Well, yes, I know.
So it's nothing great. It's nothing. The way I see it, it's kind of like ours to a degree. They heavily rely on their pass rush and their defensive line.
Well, yeah, exactly. They rely on their first round defensive linemen.
Yeah.
Josh Allen,
Javon
Walker, guys like that. They depend on the guys they paid on that front seven. Their linebackers, their D linemen. They've invested in that, and that's really the only good part of their defense is that rushing defense. It's one of the best in the league. It's averaging only 80 yards a game compared to the Steelers' 142. It's a big difference.
Yeah.
But their secondary, on the other hand, statistically is one of the worst in the league. I think they're bottom 3, I believe, which should strike Kenny as, hey, let's get hungry, let's get in. Deontae looked good in his first game back. Pickens is quietly having 100-yard games repeatedly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the offense, especially Kenny, the passing offense should feel craved and hungry to kind of want to get something going there, truthfully. Will it happen? Until we see it, I'm not expecting it. But that should be the game plan is, let's continue to use the ground game, but the Jags' rushing defense is pretty solid. They depend on that front seven a lot to build their defense because much of their secondary isn't much. I mean, they allow a lot of yards, but they do create turnovers at the same time. I believe Andre Sisco and Darius Williams each have 3 picks.
Yeah,
so
they
they can create turnovers, and Kenny is terrible with turnovers. I want to say it's almost a weekly thing because it's not, but it is a constant concern with him.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple things where he's like, man, that could have came away as a turnover for the opposing defense. So Kenny in this game is going to have to play it very, very safe. But at the same time, we got to get the passing game going a little bit. Just based on the Jags' secondary statistically, and we have most of our weapons back. We got Deontae back. We got Pickens back. Let's open up the run game a little bit by trying to get a passing game going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe Canada wants to, I'm not going to say cook because he does not cook. He's not a chef in here.
What's the term you use? He microwaves.
He microwaves. Maybe Matt Canada can microwave again this week. Have another decently called game and we can get something going on offense. Maybe we do what we did last week, which is some play action, which we actually saw in the fourth quarter, which surprised all of us. Maybe we see some play action. Maybe we see some middle of the field, potential deep shots. Spread the ball around, move the change, chunk plays, get into a enemy territory, which we did consistently last week. Can we do that again? Is consistency going to be key in this game?
Yeah.
That's the big question with this offense. Can Kenny start really going? Because it's true that when Kenny is in a game-winning scenario, Kenny really starts cooking. Kenny really starts stepping up. That's when the first round pedigree comes out in Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, for real.
But we need to see that throughout the game.
Again, it can't be a fourth quarter team. You got to spread it throughout all 4 quarters.
Right.
We shouldn't see mediocrity this and same old crap that, the same play calling, yada, yada, yada. You already know the whole spiel.
But I'm not letting the last 2 wins versus the Ravens versus the Rams, I'm not letting them blind me and thinking, hey, maybe the offense is on the up and rise, because it's not.
No, as a matter of fact, because I think the Jets, I think they were below us before their bye. They had their bye. We're actually below them now. We're 31st. We went from 30 to 31st.
Really?
Yes, while the Jets had the bye. So our offense,
how did that happen?
Statistically got worse, surprisingly.
How does that happen?
I don't know, but apparently that's where the Steelers rank at the moment. So they rank 31st overall on offense.
Well, I'm telling you guys this right now. Don't expect much from the offense. Until they show week-to-week progression, which has yet to be seen, we should not expect anything crazy or anything consistent or any continued upgrade from this offense. If we're going to see anything, it's going to be in 1 or 2 quarters. That's it. Like we've seen how many years? Like we saw last week. The offense did nothing. Only 3 points. Only 3 points.
In the first half.
In the first half. Did nothing up until pretty much the fourth quarter last week.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's a shame. That's a real shame.
That is a real shame, man.
That's what our offense is.
And I would say the Jags defense is definitely vulnerable. They have a lot of holes on that defense still. So we have the playmakers to make some plays. It's a matter if Kenny wants to start slinging it, if he can make the proper reads and make the proper adjustments, and if Canada wants to actually, I guess, microwave, or as someone said in the chat, air fry.
Air fry, yeah, that's another good one. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason why they can't do that against this Jaguars defense. There's no reason. They have absolutely every reason in the book to do something special and something fresh, something different, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't know if they will, though. Again, because that's how this offense is. Nothing has changed.
Until we see week-to-week progression, there's no reason to expect greater improvement, truthfully. Because, again, until we see it, I'm not expecting it. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that we do see that, so we can have a little hope. Like, hey, maybe this offense is starting to come around. Maybe they are starting to warm up. Maybe they're starting to show some strides and show everything we've invested into the offense the last couple of years. But until then, all we got to hope is, hey, let's do it again. That's it. Unfortunately.
Yeah, same can be said for the defense, too.
Yeah.
Same can be said for the defense, because we all know how the defense is when it comes to the air, when it comes to stopping the passing game against opposing offenses. It's not good.
No.
It's still not good.
No, especially now. Trevor Lawrence hasn't been blowing the league up this year. He had a very significant jump last year in year 2, and coaching played a big part. The weapons he had played a big part, and they only grew. Travis Etienne has experience under his belt. They improved the line a little bit. They got Calvin Ridley from the Falcons after he was suspended all last year.
Christian Kirk.
He's really lived up to that contract.
Big time. Zay Jones, he's hurt at the moment, but he's a handy target. They also have Evan Ingram, a tight end, who seems to be reviving his career in Jacksonville.
Lawrence has everything he needs to be a very successful quarterback now. And he's making significant strides in himself as a quarterback. And we're seeing that. Again, he's not blowing up the league statistically, but he is doing the Jags pretty good favors. He doesn't turn the ball over a lot. I expected more touchdowns from this passing offense, but it seems like they're really getting ETN going in the last couple of weeks. I think he has 3 straight games of 2 touchdowns on the ground.
Yeah, and again, the ground game is another worrisome thing too.
Yeah, it was very inconsistent last week for us.
Yeah.
There were times where we would allow first downs or chunk yardage or 6-7 yards every time they got the ball. And then there'd be times where we stopped them for no gain, but it was just incredibly inconsistent.
Yeah, I think overall between Darrell Henderson and Royce Freeman, overall we allowed 130 some odd like rushing yards on the ground.
Yeah, it's still a lot.
And we're going up against ETN, who's one of the best backs in the league, and I think he's actually among one of the top leaders in rushing this year.
Not only rushing, but of course touchdowns as well.
Yeah,
the guy is he's a freak, honestly, man. He was drafted right after Najee when they were both drafted in the same draft class, and his versatility is very underrated as well. You don't want to sleep on that. But he's a freak in the ground game. And if we can't clog the holes, if we can't slow down ETN, it could be a long day because he is explosive. He can get up the field. He can get some yards. He's speedy. He's shifty. He has a nose for the end zone. He showed that last year and is showing it recently this season.
Yeah.
Like, he's really having a very good year, and it can only get better. It can only get better for the Jags in general.
Yeah.
Because only halfway through the year, they're 5-2. They're on a 4-game win streak.
looking to make it 5.
And they could make it 5.
And with the offensive, I don't want to say firepower, but the targets that they have on offense is very good.
Right.
You know, they're 14th total on offense. They can get the job done. And against this defense, it's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy.
No. But I'm hoping the defense steps up because the Jags, like we said, are inconsistent. Lawrence isn't blowing the league up. He's doing the Jags very good favors, but he's not blowing the league up, at least not yet. Their targets are pretty inconsistent, I would say. Ridley has only had 2 really good games this year. Christian Kirk actually leads the team in receiving yards. He's a very explosive weapon. We cannot sleep on him, especially with who we still have in the secondary, who we continue to start. It's sickening. It's scary.
Although Porter has been getting, apparently he had more snaps than Wallace last week.
Right.
I think Porter had 53 and Wallace had like maybe 49, something like that, which is good. You love to see. You want to see more JPJ, as we should.
In fact, Icy Rhodes with a $9.99 super chat says, glad to hear rumors that JPJ is getting more reps and moving Peterson around position because of it. Now, please cut Wallace. We have to absolutely agree with that statement. I would even entertain trading him.
There's got to be one team. Like the Bills are playing at the moment. Like there's got like they apparently for the Bills they had Kyle Elam, their first round pick, as a healthy scratch, and they started Josh Norman, who's 35 and was on the practice squad. Yes.
What?
Yeah. So considering they lost Tre'Davious White and Kyle Elam is a healthy scratch because he's been underperforming, and you're starting playing a 35-year-old cornerback that's way out of his prime. Yeah, I'm calling up Buffalo. I'm calling up Sean McDermott like, hey, you want your old player back? Because we have no use for him anymore. He's not doing the job on our defense.
Right.
We got a rookie that's outshining him, outplaying him, that needs to freaking start. You know?
Absolutely.
But I don't know when officially they start JPJ, but as long as he continues to get more snaps than Wallace, you know, I can't hate that whatsoever.
No, as long as he continues to get playing time, because the more playing time he gets, the better he's going to be, the better our secondary is going to be, because he is easily our best cover guy right now. No doubt about it. Peterson's washed. Wallace is way washed. He sucks. He sucks. They both suck, actually. But at least we can move around Peterson. Wallace doesn't have that versatility.
No.
We can put Porter outside. All we need is another corner. That's all we need. Someone opposite of Porter to keep Peterson in the slot permanently. Obviously rotating with some of the other nickel guys we have, but we need someone opposite of Joey Porter Jr. And we don't have no one on the roster. We have James Pierre, but you're going to stick with James Pierre the rest of the year? No.
I wouldn't.
No.
He didn't look all that great in honestly, he should never made the team the way he performed.
No, absolutely. He was terrible in preseason. Corey Trice is out for the remainder of the year, so don't expect him back.
You're not playing Darius Rush out there.
No.
There's no way you're playing Darius Rush out there.
No. So we need another corner opposite of Joey Porter Jr., and the way to do that is via a trade. The trade deadline is this Halloween, this Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to go trick-or-treating, if you want to give Steelers fans a king-size candy bar for our trick-or-treat bags, you would please do us a favor and get rid of Wallace and please, for the love of God, trade for a corner because we need it. We really need a new corner.
Yeah.
And ideally someone young, someone with some experience. So honestly, anyone's better than Wallace. I truly feel that. But I want someone that is cost-effective, young, experienced, and someone that can grow with this defense.
And just improve with this team in general because they're 4-2 despite where they rank on defense, which is 30th. They're 4th and 2. And they're running on a lot of momentum at the moment, and you can't stick with what you got with the record that you have right now and the momentum that you're hanging on to at the moment. You can't. So you're gonna have to improve, no doubt about it. A move is absolutely necessary in order to keep that momentum going and in order to improve your secondary, improve your defensive ranking, so you don't have to constantly rely on the pass rush and TJ Watt.
And Alex Highsmith. But one of the biggest issues with our defense is our secondary. That's why it's so bad. Because our corners suck. They can't cover nothing. I bet you if they were to try to wrap themselves in a blanket tonight, the blanket is on the floor. They can't cover nothing. That's the big reason why our defense sucks, is because of our corners, our secondary. The only bright spot of our secondary this season is JPJ. I'd like to put Minka up there, but he's playing linebacker all year. They're putting him in the box. They're having him on safety blitz.
They're playing him around,
They're not letting him be Minka. It's not even helping our corners. You have Minka up top to help out the corner, and they're not even doing that.
No, they're not.
They're not. The only bright spot of this secondary this year is JPJ because he is very good in coverage. Easily our best coverage guy. I know he needs some help on tackling. That'll come with time. But as a coverage guy, easily our best.
Easily our best.
And he needs to keep playing, and Wallace needs to get out of here. Cut him, bench him, preferably trade him. He's a veteran. We can get some trade value out of him. Maybe we want to trade him in the possible trade we get a corner. Now, whether the Steelers make any trades during the deadline, I'm going to be 1,000% real with you. I doubt they do. I doubt it.
I would like to think to kind of counter that. I would like to think that they would do so because Khan is obviously been more aggressive than Colbert ever was.
Yeah.
You know, he's not afraid to make a move. He's not afraid to find a way to improve this team, to get a guy a part of this franchise.
Well, the reason I say I doubt it is because they trust a lot of their roster.
Yeah, and they do. You're right.
People will throw out the idea, hey, maybe we should trade Mason Cole. Maybe we should trade this and that. Well, they're not going to do that because, first of all, having another center under your second-year quarterback is not good for his development, not good for that chemistry, and they trust Cole. So the only reasonable position that Steelers could trade for is a corner. Maybe a safety, because we could use another strong safety. Neo and Casey are okay, but they're rentals. They're not going to be here forever. They might not even be here past this year.
No.
Strong safety is going to be a position they have to address in the offseason. No doubt about it. But so is corner. But why not address it now? Because we need to.
And the trade deadline is near, and cornerback is a big position that a lot of teams are looking into.
Yes.
And the Steelers should be one of them.
And the names are obvious. Now, I don't know if any of these guys get dealt, but they are on the trade block, and depending on what offer Khan and company want to throw at these teams, it would definitely be a huge improvement and would help our corner position opposite of JPJ. As you guys know, the most popular names are Patrick Surtain of the Broncos, former first-round pick, PS2. He's a stud.
Yeah.
Absolute stud. Former Bama DB. You know, I mean, he'd be tremendous. He's an up-and-rising corner. Very good at man coverage. Physical. I think he'd be a perfect trade candidate. The only problem is he's going to be costly.
Very costly.
Because the Broncos have traded the entire organization for Russell Wilson and Sean Payton, which has failed. So to get anything back, they're going to want a lot for their players.
Yeah.
One of the guys is going to be Patrick Surtain. They're going to want at least a first out of him, unless somehow Khan wants to finesse the Broncos front office, then please do.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way, please do. You want to throw in Wallace? Why not? You want to throw in a second this year? I would do so. A first is a bit of a stretch for me.
No, I personally, I wouldn't do a first.
No.
A second at most.
Yeah.
I think that'd be more affordable, but a first, absolutely not.
No, but that's what they're going to want out of Surtain.
Of course. You know, Denver bet the bank on two individuals.
Exactly, which is, again, led to no success. So, again, unless they want to throw some luxury in there, Patrick Surtain would be a home run, an absolute home run. I would love Surtain and JPJ.
Yeah, PS2 and JPJ outside.
That'd be perfect.
That'd be great.
If I'm correct, Surtain has one more year left in his rookie contract because he was drafted in 2021, I believe.
Yeah.
So he should have one more year in his rookie contract. Was his fifth-year option picked up?
I don't think it was.
That would be a mistake if it wasn't.
Or maybe, I'm not sure if it was. I'm not sure. I have no idea.
No, wouldn't that have to be picked up this year?
You mean next year?
Technically, yeah, next year.
Yeah, next year. Yeah, that would have to be picked up next year. So that hasn't happened yet.
Well, then that's our way of retaining him for additional years before we could get a potential contract extension with him. So, yeah, he has one more year plus a fifth-year option.
Yeah.
So we could even entertain that, which I would absolutely do that just to ensure we have him for another year or so, and then possibly get a contract extension done when that time comes, if he proves himself, which he should, because him and JPJ would be a hell of a duo.
Not only that, but you know, it's a Steelers thing. You know, they like the bloodlines and everything. Pat Surtain's obviously the son of legendary Pat Surtain Sr. So
absolutely,
you know,
and Surtain is so young,
very young.
He came in the league very young. He's already so experienced. He's already went up against some of the best in the league. So he has that to him, and of course, Surtain has that first round pedigree the Steelers adore. So. I mean,
yeah, just imagine that. Imagine that. I'm not trying to get you guys' hopes up, but imagine that. The kids of Pat Surtain and Joey Porter were getting the juniors. We would literally have the juniors at cornerback.
Wow, that is insane.
We would have the juniors at quarterback. That's something that I would not pass up on.
Bro, that would be beautiful. I'm not going to lie. That'd be interesting. That'd be really cool. But another name we got to throw out there. Now, I know there have been contract talks between him and the Bears about a potential extension, but things could change.
Yeah, you never know when it comes to the NFL.
And we don't know how close the talks are. We don't know how close that deal is coming. Jalen Johnson would be another home run. That would be another tremendous trade. It would be less cost effective for the Steelers, and it's still someone that's young, went up against some of the best in the league, very experienced, and very good at man coverage, man. He is an excellent cover guy. He's not someone that's going to create a lot of turnovers, but he is such a shutdown corner. He is locked down, literally. He has that lockdown potential. He's already living up to it. Mm-hmm. He's one of the bright spots of that Bears team, which is not living up to what they've invested in.
No.
Jalen Johnson is a true lockdown guy. And the Bears would be idiotic to get rid of him, but if they can't come to an agreement.
It'd be idiotic, but it's such a Bears thing to do because when it comes to the Bears, they never keep around their talent. Even if it's some of the best talent in the league, they never keep it around. They never sign a long term.
And that's just their reputation. They got rid of Roquan Smith, what was it, last year to the Ravens?
Yeah.
Years back. Khalil Mack, right? I mean,
Eddie Goldman, there was there was another defensive player, I can't remember. It wouldn't surprise me if Eddie Jackson were to walk.
Yeah.
Or were to be traded. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
I mean,
it's normally a Bears thing. They never keep him.
But most recently, you see Roquan Smith.
Yeah.
Like how you trade a guy like Roquan Smith, but they did. And the Ravens paid him crazy money. I think the Bears could have afforded, but the Bears just got rid of him for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
So they could absolutely do the same with Jalen Johnson. The big question. Would Ryan Poles want to make another trade with Omar Khan after what Omar Khan did to him with Chase Claypool?
The way I see it, if Howie Roseman and the Eagles can make a trade with the Titans after they finessed A.J. Brown from them and still get Kevin Byard from them.
That's true.
Then I think Omar Khan can find a way. I think Omar Khan can find a way against Ryan Poles.
That's true.
I really can.
That is very true. But, yeah, I mean, either of them would be great options. And, truthfully, they're the only two options that we are looking at that a lot of people are looking at when it comes to trade talks with the Steelers in the cornerback position because those are the two most realistic, most two available, and easily the best options out there that are on the trade block as the trade deadline comes this Halloween. So those two would be either of them would be home runs. Either of them are definite upgrades over Wallace. So I know contracts would have to come up shortly afterward, but you know, you're going to trade for the guy, you're going to have to pay him, you're going to keep him around with a young secondary.
And the thing with that is there's a reason why you're trading for him.
Yep.
You're expecting investment and a lot of, promise out of this guy. Then yeah.
Well, consider it this way. Whatever they trade, if they trade, again, I doubt, but if they trade, whatever they trade away, they're going to have to address corner next year anyway, aren't they? You're not keeping Peterson. You might. Maybe. You could opt out.
But Wallace is in his last year.
Wallace is done. Wallace should be out of here.
Wallace is walking after the end of the season, if he's sticking around.
Wallace should be out of here. But you're going to have to address corner regardless next year. whether it's in the draft or free agency.
So it's like, why not make the move now? Why not make the investment now?
For proven talent. For proven talent. Lock down potential guys. Young guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to have to worry about their contracts. You're going to have to pick up the fifth-year option, Surtain. You're going to have to extend Johnson because he's in the last year of his rookie contract. But it's well worth it because you know what you're getting in trading for the guy.
Yeah. And I think it's a move that the Steelers absolutely need to make. They should not even hesitate.
No. Now, they
shouldn't be stubborn. They shouldn't hesitate. They should make the move because, again, the ranking and how our pass defense is, you can't stick with it for 12 straight more games.
No.
You can't.
Not when you see what our secondary has given to guys like Devontae Adams. Not always Devontae Adams, but look at Puka Nacua. Look at Brandon Ayuk.
Nico Collins.
It could happen this Sunday with Calvin Ridley and or Christian Kirk.
Yeah. You can't continue to ride with what you got in the secondary.
No.
Not the rest of the way.
No, you can't.
Even if you were to play JPJ more, you still got Patrick Peterson outside. He's
or
not
Wallace
enough.
Outside,
No. Both of them cannot handle outside reps anymore.
No, you're telling the Steelers aren't stupid. The Steelers are foolish, but they're not stupid. They watch the film all the time, every day. They better. That's their job.
Yeah.
They see these guys suck. They see these guys getting blown up week after week. You're telling me they're going to stick with this? Why?
And if you want to,
it'll be blasphemous for them to stick with them.
If you want to solidify cornerback for the rest of the way, you trade for Surtain or Johnson. You get rid of Wallace. You have JPJ start finally. You trade the corner you traded for, and you got Pat Pete in the slot. And then right there, because Pat Pete can work his way in the slot, with his age and how he performs, he can't work outside anymore.
No.
You move him in the slot, it's his go-to at the moment.
Use his versatility at this stage of his career. It's the best situation for him, best situation for us. And think of it this way. Porter is in his rookie contract. He'll be here another 3 years with his current contract. So you bring in a guy like Surtain or a Jalen Johnson, and you sign them to extensions. Well, you got your corner duo for the next 4 fucking years.
Yeah.
You ain't got to worry about corner no more, dude. You might have to worry about slot probably next year, every now and then, but then you got your outside guys solidified. You ain't got to worry about that no more. You don't have to address it for the foreseeable future. That is weight off your shoulders. And corner is a big concern, man. I don't want to go back to what we witnessed during the Killer B era when we had nobodies as our cornerbacks before we got Hayden and all them. I miss those days, dude.
Yeah,
I miss when we had Hayden and Nelson and Hilton and Sutton. We don't have that no more. Well, it's now time for the Steelers to step up and improve the cornerback position because it's easily our weakest point on this team.
Yeah.
Easily, especially on their defense. No doubt about it. Now, they could go for any other talents. So let's erase Surtain. Let's erase Johnson. It could be, I don't know, J.C. Horn, potentially. That's another first-round pedigree
That's
guy.
an option. The Panthers are pretty much resetting.
They're done.
They haven't won a game yet, but they're resetting. I know he's on IR at the moment. I don't know how long he's been on IR, though. He may be just about getting off in a matter of weeks.
Right.
If the Steelers want to handle that, they want to take that risk, they can. But J.C. Horn, he's lived up to his pedigree to some degree.
Yeah.
He's not all that bad.
Or if I personally wouldn't be in favor to this, but I'm just going to throw his name out there. Maybe Deontae Jackson, one of their guys who's stepping up with Horn on IR.
Yeah.
Now, he's been very inconsistent. He has starting experience. He's fast. He went to LSU, but he's not good. He's incredibly inconsistent. He's not good in coverage. So I would not be in favor to that, but I'm going to throw his name out there.
Yeah, because his name's throughout the whole trade deadline, his name's circling around. A lot of teams have been, reaching out about him. He's not
actually. I heard the Panthers have reached out to teams to see what they think his
value is.
Oh, is
that the case?
Yes.
Is that the case?
The Panthers are reaching out to teams saying, "Hey, what do you think Deontae Jackson's for? Would you be interested in trading for this guy?"
Well, Jackson, he's not all that much better than Wallace. He's a little bit, but not much. If I had to give him anything,
the only thing he adds is speed. We don't have a speedster to keep up with the guys on opposing offenses.
Yeah.
That's it. Otherwise, I would not be in favor, but I'm going to throw his name out there because he's a veteran the Steelers could make a move for.
Another name I'm going to throw out there that I'm not in favor of, but is a guy to possibly keep an eye on, is Adoree Jackson of the Giants. I think that ship has sailed, though, since his Tennessee days when he was initially released. And, we kind of spitballed the idea and considered, why not bring in Adoree Jackson at that time wasn't a bad idea. Nowadays, I don't think so.
But truthfully, and the reason we bring up these names is because, yeah, they are options. If the Steelers want to go cheap, they could go for those vet guys. If they want more experience, they could go for them. But truthfully, man, the way I see it, you either go big or go home. You want to improve the corner position, you go big with Surtain or Johnson. That's it.
And just
I'm not even looking elsewhere.
Not just improving the defense, just where you lie at the moment. Somehow you're 4-2. You are 4-2 at the moment, and you got a long stretch of the way. It is a must to make a move. It is a must. Especially at the cornerback position. Right. Now, there's other positions they could address if they wanted to, like maybe safety. But I think cornerback's number one. No doubt it's number one.
Right.
So a move, I believe, is necessary. But do the Steelers make the move? And overall, I don't think they do.
No, I'm
not going to get my hopes up about Surtain or Johnson potentially becoming a Steeler.
Yeah, I'm not anticipating any trades from the Steelers. I'm not anticipating Omar Khan to go trick-or-treating this Tuesday on Halloween. He could, but I'm not expecting it. Granted, this is a different front office. He's a lot more aggressive than Colbert was. So he could surprise us. He could make a trade or so. Maybe it's for another position. Whatever that is, I don't know. I don't see any other position we could trade for him. It's either corner or safety. That's it. Otherwise, I don't see him being very active. They'll explore. They'll reach out, but I don't think a deal is going to be done.
Yeah.
But I hope so. I am gonna hold on to some bit of string of hope that maybe they make a big trade for a corner. But that's me getting my hopes up. That's me being a little optimistic. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Otherwise, no, I'm not expecting it. If it's a safety, there's not a lot of crazy names out there.
There's obviously Budda Baker out there.
Yeah.
But, he's going to be expensive. He's going to be very costly.
We're already paying Minka a lot.
The Broncos back again, they pretty much said everybody's available. Everybody's on the trade block. They'll listen to offers to anybody. Justin Simmons, of course, but, we already have Minka. And Simmons is more of a free safety than a strong safety.
Yeah, they play similar roles.
Yeah, I'm trying to look for... If we were to trade for a safety, I'm looking for a pure strong safety.
Agreed.
And I brought this up to Dan a couple days ago. I'm going to bring it up here. Considering what the Titans gave away, Kevin Byard, they don't have him anymore. They got Terrell Edmonds and a couple late round cap in return.
It appears to me the Jags are not Jags. The Titans are they're trying to collect as many picks as possible.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Because I know we're going to talk about this next week during the Titans and Steelers preview. That's literally a week from now. But the Titans are rebuilding.
Yeah,
reload, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
They're washed.
Yeah, they got a lot of aging talent. Tannehill's obviously nowhere near where he was when he first joined. Derrick Henry apparently could very well be traded as well.
Maybe. Who knows, man? I heard that last year, too. I don't know. If we're looking at this Titans team from 3 years ago, hey, it's pretty decent. It's pretty solid. It could be a contender-wise. Otherwise, everyone's washed. So they are just trying to get as much as possible.
Yeah, so that's why I bring up Tennessee here, because one safety that I think that they could potentially trade away, because they're pretty much like Denver in a similar situation. Pretty much everybody's available.
Yeah.
Considering they got Terrell Edmonds, and recently they claimed Kevon Wallace off waivers when he was released by Arizona, I'm looking at Amani Hooker. For the Tennessee Titans. 25 years old. Last year, he signed a 3-year extension, so he's got 2 years left, counting this year and next year. And
so we would retain him.
He's a reliable safety. He's a capable guy. He's got an eye for the ball, solid tackler, young player at that, experience at that.
That's true.
Former
4th-round pick and has, 4 or 5 years under his belt already?
Yeah, he has paved his way into a starting role for Tennessee a couple years ago and has pretty much been a solid player for them since.
Yeah, he's been a constant guy, like I suppose a staple mate for that secondary.
If the Steelers want to look at somebody that has youth, experience, and reliability at the strong safety position to get younger at that, Hooker is a guy to definitely, keep an eye out for. Although we have KZ, we have Neal. There's rentals at this point, and they're not really going to be here for the long term. A guy like Hooker is somebody that could be here for not just after his current contract, but if he were to live up to the potential in that contract that we trade for, maybe we give him another small extension.
Yeah, I
kind of secure strong safety for a good chunk of years.
Yeah, I kind of like that idea. If they want to go for a safety, safety is another position they're gonna have to address next year. So might as well trade what you were gonna spend safety on next year, this year. If there's any decent names you want to potentially acquire before the deadline, but otherwise, I think corner's the most realistic and the most necessary. I'm still not anticipating anything crazy from the Steelers front office.
Yeah.
But corner especially. Yeah. 100%.
Honorable mention is strong safety, but outside of that, there's not really anything else.
Yes.
No running back, no wide receiver, no tight end, nothing like that.
No center.
No.
That's another position we're going to have to address next year, unless they want to keep Cole until his contract's up. But, no, it's corner. Corner is
without a doubt cornerback.
Corner is the only position they should trade for towards the trade deadline come Halloween. And
I believe the time is 4 p.m. Eastern. That's the deadline. That's when it's done.
That's the deadline on Tuesday. So it's either corner or none. Go big or go home. Surtain or Johnson. That's it. No one else. Make the move. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Otherwise, I don't trust the secondary for this game. I don't.
No.
I don't. God, it terrifies the shit out. Calvin really is an amazing talent. He's inconsistent. That might be because he took the year off, but he's still an explosive playmaker. He's their number one easily. He's got it all. He's got everything that you would need in a wide receiver.
Yeah.
And he's an absolute big upgrade for that offense, and is just the weapon Lawrence needed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he took Christian Kirk to 1,000 yards last year, and he's now the number 2, still leading the team in receiving yards. He's still explosive.
I mean, I think I consider Kirk the number 1, though.
I don't, because he benefits a lot from Ridley.
Now, you do have a good point at that.
He was the one last year.
You do have a good point at that, but I think as far as this year goes, Kirk has been the more consistent. Again, it could be because Ridley was out for a year because he was suspended, but you still can't underestimate both individuals without a doubt.
Right.
But both are great talent.
Yeah, and it's just what Lawrence needed, and obviously seeing what we've allowed in many games this year against opposing wide receivers. Yeah, there's every reason to be terrified in this one.
And the thing is,
Lawrence loves to throw the ball. Peterson is not afraid to trust his quarterback. They traded for Ridley for a reason. Kirk is coming off a 1,000-yard season. He's living up to that contract.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's constantly just getting big play after big play this year. I mean,
and the way I see it,
God Almighty, it scares me.
Like last week with Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. Like, if one guy's not making the plays, the other guy is.
Yes.
So it's a double-edged sword on our part. Like, yeah, we shut down Cooper very well, but Puka torched our secondary
big time,
like Swiss cheese.
So
it could
pick your poison. Who do you think is going to go for 150 on this secondary? Kirk or Ridley? In fact, that's going to be a poll in the live chat this Sunday when we go live for the game. That will be a legitimate poll in the chat. Which wide receiver goes for 150? Personally, my vote's going to be Kirk.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Kirk. We'll see. It seems to be a weekly thing all the time. That's why we got to make a trade. That's why we got to make a move.
Unless we just want to keep playing Porter a lot more. See, maybe they bench Wallace and put Porter and Peterson outside, and then put someone else in the slot, like a KZ or a Neal or Elijah Riley, maybe.
They could do that. They could experiment them more into the slot instead of constantly having Shannon Sullivan in there.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been too good in the slot.
Yeah.
Hella experience there, but he's not that credible.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you want to put... Because KZ has... When it comes to safety, strong safety, KZ, he has that versatility aspect.
Yes.
And Neal can be able to stick up there strong safety and lay the hammer if need be.
Yes.
I don't think they haven't really experimented that as much because they constantly move Minka around. I think they're moving the wrong safety around. I think KZ has the more versatility than Minka does. You need Minka to be Minka. You need to have KZ be the switch army knife that he has already showcased.
I agree, man. They're doing everything wrong when it comes to the secondary.
Even with the safety blitzes with Minka, they're doing that more often. Why not do that with Keanu Neal?
Yeah,
because he's more the blitzing type of safety,
Yeah,
and he did play linebacker at one point.
He's more the hybrid piece.
He's more the bulky safety, the hybrid piece.
Exactly. Neal is perfect for that. I would never blitz Minka. They blitzed. I think they've already blitzed him more times this year than they did last year. It's what, week 8? We're going to week 8 now. You got to keep Minka up top, especially if you plan on playing Wallace more. Which, God forbid, that seems like what they're doing. Again, they're doing everything wrong in the secondary. Their safety roles are pretty much swapped. They're reversed.
Yeah.
For some reason. Now, don't get us wrong. Everything Minka does is great.
Yes, and it's not like we're saying Minka's terrible at what he's doing. What Minka's doing is very good. It's not that Minka can do it. Minka's reliable at doing it.
But that should not be his exact role.
No.
That should not be his. He should not be leading this team in tackles. He should not be a 5th linebacker. That's the problem. That was his issue 2021.
Yeah.
God, man.
Like, you invested all this money and all this time to revamp the whole linebacker core. You brought all these new linebackers in, yet Minka's pretty much your primary piece there. Yeah. Doesn't make sense.
Might as well be our best linebacker. He's not even a true linebacker, dude. And then you're still playing Wallace. You're starting to play JPJ more. That's a big plus, but you're still playing Wallace. You can't continue to play this guy. You got to do something. But as long as this guy continues to play, and whoever goes up against him is going to continue to break out.
Yeah.
Could be Ridley. Ridley plays on the left side a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It terrifies me, man. I don't trust the secondary. We're going to need T.J. Watt and Highsmith to get to Lawrence. We're going to have to get our pass rush going. We're going to have to eat up the run game. We're going to have to get Lawrence on the ground. That's what we're going to have to do.
Again, it's this weekly occurrence with this defense, man. We constantly have to rely on the pass rush to get to the quarterback and cause turnovers.
Now, Lawrence has been sacked 16 times this year. 16 times. At one point, he was sacked 5 times in the game.
Yeah.
Watt is easily the best defensive player in football. No doubt about it. No one, I would say, is even close right now. The guy is a freak. The guy is truly our Lord and Savior.
Yeah.
He is our team. He is our MVP. Every game, every week. Every single week.
And Jags first rounder, Anton Harrison, he's going to have a big challenge.
Who I will say should have never been a first rounder.
That's arguable. That's very arguable.
I don't think he's first round talent.
But
I know it's the back end of the first round, but I don't think he's first round talent.
I mean, throughout the draft process, I did consider him be a bit of a project.
Yes,
but
I expected him to be a day 2 selection and not an immediate starter. I didn't think he was well enough to be a day 1 starter. Clearly, the Jags think differently. So good for him and good on the Jags. They trust the big fella.
But it's a big test for the rookie.
Yes, it is. Against
massive
T.J. Watt. And Cam Robinson's going to have a big test as well against Alex Highsmith. Cam Robinson's kind of lived up to the contract, but Alex Highsmith is another consistent pass rusher for us. Yeah. Always making plays. Just continue. He might not have the most sacks in the league. He may not have the most sacks on the stat sheet. The guy's constantly forcing pressure.
Yeah.
How many pressures does this guy get every week? A lot. He's always breathing down the quarterback's neck, man.
Yeah, the pressure's racked up total between Watt and Highsmith. It's among the best.
Yes.
That's why they are, no doubt, the best edge rushing duo.
We got to come up with a nickname for these two. Everyone says that Johnson and Pickens are gin and juice, and I like that.
Remember Shazier and Vince Williams shake and bake?
Remember that? We need a nickname. We need a tag team name for Highsmith and Watt. We need something for them. As of now, we'll just call them the best pass rush duo in the NFL because they are. They really are. So we're going to need those two to continue to be MVPs for this defense.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're hoping we can get Keanu Benton starting to play a little more. Let's get
get him more snaps.
This guy only got 19 reps last week?
Yeah, Keanu Benton. That doesn't make any sense.
19? Are you kidding me?
That doesn't make any sense to me.
19 fucking reps. What?
No, they need to play They need to play. They need to. If they're not going to start the rookies, they need to play more. They're doing one with JPJ. Thankfully, they need to continue that. They need to do that with Keanu Benton as well on the defensive line, especially if they want to help stop the run, especially with who you're going up against.
Exactly. Etienne is a hot running back, dude. The guy, all he does is score touchdowns and get big gains.
Yeah. You need a guy that can get in there, clog up the hole, stop the run. Ben has showcased that time and time again.
Yes. We have to slow down ETN somehow.
Yeah.
So we gotta get Ben to pretty much play the rookies.
And you know what? That really kind of concerns me. If he's only getting 19 last week, and Hayward's out, and Hayward just came back to practice. He's got a 21-day window. I don't think he comes back this game or the Titans game. I think he comes back the Green Bay game. But you're only going to give him 19 reps when Hayward is out. If he comes back, or when Hayward comes back.
Is he ever going to see the field?
Yeah. At this point.
That's a concern.
Is he going to be dressed, but is he going to touch the freaking field?
Dude, this is my problem with Terrell Austin, man, is he said that Keanu Benton has 3-down potential, 3-down upside. Yeah, he can be a 3-down defender in the near future. Obviously, this is a lot sooner than they anticipated, but why are you shying away from that? I don't understand it. They're shying away from playing any of these rookies. They're starting to warm up to JPJ, thankfully. When are we going to get Broderick Jones in there? When are we going to see Broderick Jones be the full-time starting left tackle for the remainder of the year?
Yeah.
When are we going to see that? When are we going to start seeing Keanu Benton see 3-down reps on the defense? You want to rotate him and Watts, him and Liao, him and Loudermilk? Feel free. Fine. Keep them fresh. But Benton deserves 3-down reps on the defense. He should be getting it. I'm not saying run a 3-4 base the entire game just to keep him on the field. Insert him in some nickel packages. He can play interiorly anywhere.
Yeah.
Very much like a Hayward. Let's get this guy some reps, man. Let's get this guy working. Let's
get him involved.
Let's get him some playing time.
Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, your defense ain't stopping the run, and nothing's working with the guys that you have initially. Maybe try something different, try something new, maybe get the rookie involved, see what he can try to benefit with.
Yeah.
Like what's the thing? Like, what's the problem here?
Yeah.
Why are we shying away from playing these rookies? It's week 8 at the moment.
It's week 8 now, and they're still scared to play the rookies. So why are they going to play these rookies? They got to start playing them, man.
It's a weekly question, and it shouldn't be. You should be playing these guys.
Exactly. And you know what's going to scare me the most is they're going to look at the Jags. Man, the Jags are 5-2. They're winning 4 straight. You know, that's against top talent. We can't play the rookies against top talent. Why not? That's the big test you want these guys to get. It's only going to better themselves. Right?
Yes, like maybe
instead they're going to shy away from it.
last week, right? A little bit with Broderick Jones, considering, who's on the defensive line for the Rams and everything. Yeah. Aaron Donald.
Exactly.
We got to put the quality veteran in there and Dan Moore.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me. I'm not all for that. I think that's ludicrous.
I agree. By the way, the chat has a name for Highsmith and Watt.
What's that? What they put in there?
High wattage.
High wattage. Okay.
I really love that. Holy shit.
That's a good one.
Shout out to the chat for that. As Max Thunder, TJ Black, and Lamont Love with high wattage. Fucking excellent.
Mm-hmm.
That's a new nickname for him. High wattage. That's really cool. Damn.
That's a good one. Shout out to the chat for that one.
High wattage. I really like that. Otherwise, for this Steelers Jags game, we could absolutely win this one. The Jags could play ugly again. They could be they could have another weekly occurrence of them being inconsistent and not truly living up to their full potential.
Mm-hmm.
We could be the team to stumble their 4-game win streak, to stumble a little bit of their momentum.
Yeah. The Jags are on a rise for sure, no doubt about it. But at the moment, there are some weak links, and that's where we gotta hit and strike.
I see that.
And this is a very, of course, every game is. It's a very winnable game.
Right.
It's just how the Steelers game plan, they prep and execute.
Right.
And what they did against the Rams in the fourth quarter was the best that they ever looked all season, and it's the momentum that they have to continue to ride on. But not just for one quarter, for all 4 quarters. Spread it out. I'm not saying you got to score every time. That's damn near. No, that's impossible. It's not damn near. That's completely impossible. You're not going to do that.
Right.
But at least show some signs of freshness, some signs of life. Something new, something exciting. Every now and then. Get down the field a little bit. Get some more points on the board. Better execution. You know what I mean?
Right. But again, until we see that consistently on a week-to-week basis, There's no reason to expect that for this game outside of maybe a couple strides here and there. But
Yeah,
that's
of course.
But that's it. Otherwise, I think this game's winnable. I think the Jags are still young and vulnerable. I think we could definitely force the Jags to make mistakes and win this one in Heinz Field for sure. Otherwise, I hope this isn't another terrible performance from this team. And by that, I mean like severely outcoached.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my concern with this. I mean, granted, that's every week. That's what I expected last week versus the Rams. And thankfully, the Steelers proved me wrong. But for this one, that could be the possibility.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Tomlin and Peterson, they don't play often, but I know they're 1-1 against each other. The first time Peterson blew them out when he was with Philly early on.
Yeah.
And then we beat him in his last year with Philly, I believe.
Yeah. When Claypool.
Claypool.
4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
The only time he showed up, so.
But Peterson seems to really be stepping up as a head coach. I always when he was with Philly, I always considered him as like a top 10. Very underappreciated. Very underrated, honestly, as a head coach.
When he was in Philly, he brought some sort of vibe to Philly. I mean, he got them their first freaking ring.
Now, obviously, the Eagles are better off, but so are the Jags.
Mm-hmm.
And so is Doug Peterson, truthfully. I think a change of scenery is what he needed, and he's showing that with Jacksonville. He just has that winning pedigree to him.
Mm-hmm.
He's always trying to win, and I think he's perfect for this Jags team. So I'm hoping the Steelers host the Jags, but don't underestimate them too much.
Yeah, of course.
Because the Jags always play us tough. They are young. They are inconsistent, but don't look at that and be like, hey, man, we can come in here and not have to put in much effort when that's not the case.
No.
The Jags are going to be a hungry team. They're on a hot streak right now. It may not be the most convincing, but they're looking to win 5 straight.
Mm-hmm.
They are a young team trying to continue to make their name in the league, trying to be another rising team, a potential contender, definitely to win that division. They have a lot of hunger to reach for. They have a lot they're trying to play for.
Yeah.
So we can't be underestimating this Jags team when it comes to this matchup.
No.
But just based on the history and just seeing how this Jags team is, it's the best it's been in years. It worries me a little bit. I mean, every game for the remainder of the season is going to worry me with the Steelers, but especially this one. Because the Jags have a lot of offensive power. And we do not have the offensive power to play consistently.
No. Nope.
At least the Jags, they can get explosive plays noticeably.
Mm-hmm.
We, on the other hand, we just want to show up for one quarter and show up whenever we want to.
And just edge out a victory by the skin of our ass. Just get by.
Yes.
Hey, we handle business,
Yes. I am hearing Deontae is hurt.
Yeah, he apparently missed practice today.
Yeah.
That's
a concern.
He's back on the injury report.
We just got him back.
Yeah. And last week he came up very big several times, especially in that fourth quarter.
The yak ability, it was a newfound appreciation for him outside of that stupid yapping he did.
I can't remember. What injury was it? Was it hamstring again?
Yes.
It was a hamstring again.
He did not participate today because he re-aggravated the hamstring.
Is that the actual report, or is that...
Well, that's just what I imagine.
Okay, well, I do want to throw this out there. It could very well just be precaution. They could just be very cautious considering they just got him back. They want to be cautious and see if, take a day off, rest it up a little bit, and see if he can at least get back to limited tomorrow. That's what I'm hoping for. That's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment. But if he is out again, if he re-aggravated and he's out, then that's a big blow.
Oh, yeah.
That's a real big blow.
Yeah, then we all trust, what's his name? Pickens to continue to step up because he's quietly having 100-yard games. I think he has 3 this year.
Yeah, he does.
When was the last time Deontae even had a 100-yard game? I mean, I'm just being honest.
I mean, did he even have one? Not to say Deontay's a bad player, but did he even have one last year?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I don't remember.
So.
But I do know that.
But yeah, we're confident Pickens can step up, and weapon-wise, we don't have Frymouth, but we don't involve tight ends whatsoever in Canada's offense.
No.
We do have other targets in Robinson and Austin, but even then, we're not getting them involved.
No.
So it's literally just going to have to be the George Pickens show if you look at it that way, if Johnson's out.
So hopefully Johnson isn't out, but here's the full practice report today. Deontae Johnson with a hamstring did not participate. Joey Porter Jr. with a calf injury was limited. Anthony McFarland with a knee, which he's been on IR since week 1, was full like he was yesterday as well. He should be returning from IR this week.
He's bound to be back.
Levi Wallace with a foot was limited. Cole Holcomb with an ankle was full. Nate Herbig with an illness was full. Cam Hayward, who returned today, his 21-day window to return from IR is now open. He was limited today, and Larry Ogunjobi with a shoulder did not participate.
He's also new. Yeah,
that is also new to the report.
And Ogunjobi,
he's constantly on the injury report. Dude.
Yeah, he just seems he can't shake off the injury bug.
No,
whether if it's an ankle, shoulder, groin, you name it. Like, and Ogunjobi's been a reliable piece on the defensive line, especially since Hayward's been out.
I know,
been a hell of a run stuffer. You know, he's even gotten better in the pass rush a bit here too.
Right.
So losing Ogunjobi, considering what we already have on the D line, who's out, I mean, Jesus.
Right.
So it is a big possibility we could be without Johnson and Ogunjobi, which is a big blow.
Right.
And that wouldn't be good.
Okay, so apparently Deontae Johnson was on the Moat show and said he's just taking the day. He's taking the day off.
Okay, then.
So I guess now they could have just put it as non-injury related, but granted, he did just come back from a hamstring, so they had to put him on the report why he was inactive today. But regardless, he said he's 100% and he's just taking a day. At least that's what the chat is saying is what he said on the Moat show. So that's good to hear. So there's no concern with Deontae Johnson. Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
No, we can't afford to lose him. We can't afford to have any more injuries. No, we just got back.
We don't have a bye to lean on now.
No.
We have mini buys to lean on upcoming, especially with next week's game.
Last week we were the healthiest we've been in weeks outside of Pat Fryermuth and Cameron Hayward.
Yeah.
But then these injuries pop up again. It's like, it just sucks, man.
I know.
It just really sucks. But
injury bug never never loosens its grip.
No, never will.
Never loosens its grip. It's like a gnat in the summer. It just follows you. It just continues to follow us every goddamn year, and it's just
no matter what you do, no matter what you try, it's just gonna be in your face.
Exactly. It's unfortunate. What did you hear about Porter Jr.? Heard he sat today too. I didn't hear much. I heard he had a calf injury, but that's it.
Yeah, he was limited, right?
He was limited.
Yeah. I think he'll be all right.
He's new to the report as well.
I think he'll be all right.
Could be tightness. Could be cramps. Who knows? Who knows? But I wouldn't find that as a concern. Connor Hayward was playing good too. I forgot about Fryermuth. Yeah, Connor Hayward is now our receiving tight end with Fryermuth out for at least the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, continue. You continue to see Connor Hayward
as you would expect. He's reliable with his hands. Versatility, is crazy. Swiss Army knife on the offense.
Yeah.
I would like to see Washington involved a little bit in the passing game, but I know why he's mainly blocking, because that's his best trait.
Right.
That's his best trait.
So I don't know if you guys heard, but Pickens.
What about Pickens?
You know how he said he pretty much, I'm not trying to make a big deal out of this because he's not entirely wrong. Although it is the pot calling the kettle black because it translates to our defense as well. He pretty much said they lean on first-round talent on their D-line.
He referred to the Jags as having a hope defense.
Right. Well, apparently, the Jags defensive back, Rashawn Jenkins, who I believe is one of their starting safeties, doesn't seem concerned with Steelers wide receiver George Pickens because he believes the Jags cornerbacks will be able to hold him down. Is he serious? Has he watched George Pickens?
Yeah, are you kidding me? Yeah, because Tyson Campbell's lockdown material.
Tyson Campbell and Darius Williams are lockdown material.
No,
they're not. There is actually a reason why they are one of the worst passing defenses in the league statistically.
Yeah.
They're terrible. They're terrible. They can force turnovers. I don't want to underestimate that, especially with Kenny and his concerns. But no, come on. Pickens is coming off 2 straight 100-yard games.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Jenkins, this is what Jenkins said. Since I know that receiver we have coming in this week, number 14, he has a high yards per catch, but respectfully, he hasn't played our corners yet, so I'll say that. But yet he burned Marlon Humphrey for a game-winning touchdown, and Marlon Humphrey is easily better than any of your corners.
Yeah. I mean, how many freaking yards did their cornerbacks give up? You know, Michael Thomas caught his first touchdown in over a year.
You know what?
Last week.
You know what? I'm kind of liking this little chatter. It's going to make the matchup a little more interesting.
And it's very Jags and Steelers-esque.
Yes,
you know,
it is.
back in the day when they were Jacksonville, we had the best team in ages. You know, it's very reminiscent. It really is. It brings a certain excitement, level of excitement to this game.
Yeah, some competitiveness. But I am absolutely taking the Pickens over for yardage this Sunday.
Oh, as you should.
100%.
As you should.
100%. I might even do the same for Deontae. I don't know yet. I want to see this passing game get going in this game because this is the game for them to do it.
This is the game for them to do it.
Kenny needs to start doing it. I know the coaching and the scheming and the game planning plays a big part, but this offense needs to start throwing the ball.
Yeah.
They need to start.
And then that starts with Kenny. You know, we can only use the coaching excuse for so long.
Yes.
At the end of the day, realistically, at the end of the day, Kenny's got to be Kenny.
Yes.
Kenny's got to go out there and execute. Kenny's got to go out there and throw accurate passes, get it to his targets, get the touchdowns on the board.
Yes.
Being a first-round freaking quarterback last year. The only first-round quarterback selected. This is a big investment in this guy, and he's got to hold his end of the bargain, truly.
Yeah.
12 straight games, it can't always be, give him proper coaching. It's not going to happen for the rest of the year.
Right.
It's got to be up to Kenny to work with what he's got, but work on his issues at the same time and get better week by week.
Right. So when I look at this game, man, either two things are going to happen. One, this game's going to be very much like the Rams game last week, where it's close and it's chippy and it's it's
down to the wire.
Down to the wire, absolutely. And maybe we start seeing, or maybe we continue to see some of the things we see from the offense that we saw in the fourth quarter. But that's a big if. Consistency is never on their side.
Mm-hmm.
And it could come down to that, hopefully. So, like I said, two things are going to happen. It's going to be very much like the Rams game, or the Jags are going to have a field day. It's going to be one of those two.
Yeah, there's no in-between when you look at it that way.
When I see this team, that's the only thing that's going to happen.
There is no in-between. It's either it's going to be gritty and grindy, down to the wire, or
it's a blowout.
Yeah, and the Steelers will not be doing the blowout.
No, it's always going to come down to those two. But the reason I say that with this game is I do continue to fear that with the Steelers team, because we've already seen it twice this year. We've seen it how many times since 2020 under Mike Tomlin, under the same coaching staff. Literally, this entire coaching staff, the coordinators and the head coach, have all been with this team way before that, actually.
Yeah.
That's a concern. But also, the Jags are a loaded team.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, they may not be the most convincing or the most consistent, but they have 4 straight wins right now, and they are explosive, and they can, I suppose, just fire on all cylinders whenever they want to.
Yeah, they have the tools to execute for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Jags linebackers are absolute studs. Their linebacking core is great. Devin Lloyd. I love Chad Muma.
Mm-hmm.
I can never pronounce this guy's name. What's his name? Alonza. What's his name?
Alukin?
Yeah, that one.
Alukin. Alukin.
He's a stud.
We need to look for a corner. I don't know.
But no, he's a stud. And
he is.
That's a reason why their rushing defense is top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they only allow 80 yards a game. Rushing.
And I think we don't even get... I think we barely get 80. Yeah. Or maybe just a little over at that. So
depends who we face.
Yeah, you're right. Just on average, maybe. I'm not sure. I would have to look at it.
Right.
But
yeah, getting a run game going is going to be a big problem. It's going to be a big challenge. I'd like to see us get something going, but it's not going to be easy. The Jags have a great front seven. They have a great D-line. They have a stacked linebacker core. So if we can't get a run game going, it's up to Kenny in the passing game.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going up against statistically a bad pass defense. So it's time for them to step it up. And they're going to be not fully healthy because they don't have Pat. Granted, we never used them this year.
No.
They have a fully healthy receiving core. So now it's time to use them. Now it's time to get going.
Yeah, Mr. Steeler fan in chat, he puts this comment. This is the biggest game of the season so far for us. We can work these next 3 home games to our favor with a win over the best team of that 3-game run.
Absolutely. 100%,
You're right.
100%.
You're right.
And we're going to be on a short week after this game because we got the Titans on Thursday night a week from now.
Yeah.
So we're going to need to build some momentum before that one.
Yeah.
So for the love of God, maybe the Steelers can be consistent for the first time in a long time and come out with a dub and kind of be that bump in the road for the Jags. But maybe they win 3 straight.
But like you said, it's either down to the wire, gritty and grindy, or it's a blowout.
Right. Because truthfully, I don't know how we keep edging out victories. I don't know how.
I honestly couldn't tell you. It's hard for me to find out as well.
How do I want to say this? I'll give them last week because they did fight. They did come back. They fought for that one.
Yeah, they did.
They came back from a deficit. They tied it, and then they won it. They did it in respectable fashion. I'll give them that one.
They earned that victory,
Yes.
100%.
Otherwise, the other ones, I mean, I can't say the same. Man.
Yeah, because
Mistakes from the other teams have worked in our benefit.
Because, again, like, when you look back at it years ago, when was truly the last time we had a satisfying win?
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute, yeah. I'm not saying, every win's got to be that way, because it's not going to be that way, but it's been a while since we had that feeling.
Yeah.
Where there's, no stress, no worries, nothing like that.
We're not asking to blow out teams. We're not asking for a blowout victory every single week, because that's impossible. That's quite unfair. That's very unrealistic.
But we're just tired of seeing them.
And let's be honest, that's not Steeler-like.
No, it's not.
But it's also not impossible for us to do it.
Or do more instead of doing the same stuff and seeing either it's going to be down to the wire game or a blowout.
Yeah, because I hate...
It's either one of those two with the team. It's just every week is like, well, what are we going to get?
Yeah, because I don't like pulling out wins and being like, man, we really benefited from the other team's mistakes.
It shouldn't always have to come to that. The fact that it has been that way for the past 3-4 years now,
that might be the way we win this, because the Jags continue to make mistake after mistake. They don't turn the ball over a lot, but they kind of did last week, and the Saints didn't take advantage. So can they do it again this week versus a ferocious pass rush, and can we take advantage? We did that last week.
Yeah,
to some degree.
But again, that's constantly the way the Steelers win.
Yeah,
they edge out victories.
No, you're right. Well,
it shouldn't. All I'm saying is it shouldn't always have to come down to that.
It shouldn't. But obviously, we're kind of already in for what we're gonna get.
Yeah. Well, so at this current stage, yeah, it's pretty much
that's the only way we're
pretty much get used to it if you're not already.
Yeah, that's the only way we're gonna be able to get victories for the remainder of the year until we get the necessary changes. It's gonna happen, which is gonna be after the season. So. It's essentially that, we're just used to it at this point.
Yep, you're right.
Don't feel good about it, but we're used to it at this point. Otherwise, once we make the necessary changes, we should not be getting the same thing. Yeah, the last time we got a convincing win was last time we faced the Jags, when we blew them out in one of Ben's last really good games, actually.
Was
that 2020?
2020. It was when we was that our 10th straight win?
Yes.
When we faced a backup quarterback. Who was that quarterback? I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I'll pull up the stats right now.
JR Boy with a 499. George Pickens had a 100-yard game last year. Was the Jets game last? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, Jake Luton. We had 4 picks on him.
Yeah.
Backup quarterback.
2 of them from Edmonds, remember?
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, Edmonds is not with the Titans. We'll be facing 12.
Yeah, we'll be looking to face them next Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah. No Kevin Byard this time around.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is it possible the Steelers trade for Terrell Edmonds?
It very well is. I mean, Titans said that, everybody's available. That could include the guy that they just acquired from the Byard trade.
We could throw in some extra picks just to give the Titans that compensation to get a familiar face.
If we wanted to.
Help out the run defense if we wanted to.
Yeah, if Edmonds is also open to it.
It's not his say.
It isn't, but,
Regardless, we'll probably be seeing Terrell Edmonds next week in Pittsburgh when we're facing the Titans. But before that, we obviously have the Jags.
Yeah, we do.
And this game does worry me. I'm not going to lie to you. This game does worry me to some degree, and I'm hoping it doesn't come down to what my fear was last week, because that's very possible. The Jags have the potential, they have the talent, they have the coaching to do it.
Yeah.
But we are at home. We have 2 straight wins somehow. We are 4-2 somehow.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not impossible for us to win this game. The Jags are beatable. The Jags are inconsistent. They are vulnerable. We can step up, but that's what we're going to have to do is step up. Can they? Can they be consistent for the first time in their entire lives? I don't know. Probably not, but until we see otherwise, maybe. Maybe. Good job last week. Let's do it again.
Yep.
Are you going to? Probably not. But shut me up. You did that last week, so shut me up. Continue to shut me up, please. I don't see us stopping ETN. We haven't stopped anyone this year rushing. You're right. And ETN is just an explosive fucking running back, dude.
Yeah.
Swear jar. He's incredible.
Dan, that's the first swear jar, I think, all stream.
Well, first one I've counted.
Okay, yeah, you might be right.
I'm running out of coins, bro. I swear to God, this is our last bit of coins. We don't have much. I gotta go to the
get
bank
some
and get
quarters
some. I gotta get a
somewhere.
roll of quarters.
Gotta get some
Get
quarters
some.
somewhere.
He's not catching that.
Hail Mary.
Yep, he ain't catch it. No flags. No flags. Game over.
Bills
win.
Yeah.
And I want some money tonight. Let's go.
Oh, did you? Did Diggs get the Diggs had to gotten the yards, right?
He got the yards. I needed a touchdown from him to win in my second parlay,
Yeah, well, you know Josh Allen.
but Diggs couldn't do it.
Yeah, well, Don Kincaid did for me for fantasy purposes.
Yeah, because I bet Evans, Diggs, and the Bills money line. I got the Bills money line and Evans touchdown. I didn't get Diggs. But I made a second one where Allen and Dalton Kincaid would score and Diggs would have 50 yards. And I did claim that. So it makes up the fact that Olave didn't get me 3 to 8 yards last week to win me a decent amount. And it makes up for the fact that I got everything right in the Ravens-Lions game, except I took the Lions money line last minute, and it fucked me over.
You're still salty about it.
I am very salty
Just like you're
about
salty
that.
about Rashad Penny, huh?
Yes, fuck Rashad Penny. That was
With
weeks
A.J.
ago.
Brown,
That was
right?
weeks ago, dude. All I needed was an A.J. Brown touchdown, and he got it. He got it, but it was taken away due to Rashad Penny's holding.
You still salty about Jalen Waddle last year, too, not getting the 1 yard?
Yeah, dude, I needed 1 yard from Jalen Waddle. 1 yard, bro.
And you're never going to let up on those moments.
No, bro, it sucks. You know how much more money I'd have if all that panned out?
Well, that's the risk of betting, bro.
You got to get into it, bro. It's fun.
Hell no!
It's fun.
No, it's not.
I'll teach you.
What?
I've won more this year than I did all last year, bro. I'm getting better.
Bro, you got into it like halfway through last year, right?
No.
Yeah, you did.
I got into the playoffs 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
During the Rams and Bengals Super Bowl run.
Yeah, you didn't get that one right, though.
No.
No.
What pisses me off, though, is I knew Cup was going to get MVP. I was going to put 50 on it.
Why didn't you do it?
I didn't.
Why didn't you do it?
Because it was like, maybe Aaron Donald's going to get it. Maybe Matthew Stafford.
No. Recently, it's been an offensive player. You should have known.
I know.
Should have known.
Shit
You
happens.
know, defense wins championships. You know, that's not exactly...
That's not in the MVP sheets no more.
No, that's not the go-to nowadays in the NFL.
Jags will outrush and outpass us, but we will find a way to win.
Derek, you might be right.
You can't be any more right because that's kind of what happens every week. Kind of happens every week.
Yep.
And we still win somehow. Whether it's due to defense, whether it's due to teams not capitalizing, whether it's them making mistakes or not finishing drives or settling for field goals or missing field goals.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, somehow we just keep finding a way, and I think that's going to be the only way we can come out with a win this week, unless they actually want to step up. But
again, you got to hold your breath on that.
Again.
We're all going to have to hold our breath on that.
DJ was on Moses' podcast. I lost it. There we go. Was on Moses' podcast, and he said he feels great. Plus, he's for Canada staying OC. Well, he's not going to say, yeah, I want this bald bastard out of here. He's not going to say that.
No. Just like Najee when it came to, he was asked about the coaching. It's like,
Yeah, he's not going to say that.
He's going to take that, he's going to say what he should say because he's not going to throw anybody under the bus.
No, he's not going to do that.
No. I wouldn't expect him to.
My question is this. Does Kenny Pickett know Canada's offense better than Canada does? I'm serious. We scored on 2 audibles by the quarterback, and it won the game. I think he does. Like I said in the postgame, man, I don't think Canada was all behind it. It might have had some influence because he's the coordinator. He calls the shots. But whether it was probably due to him letting Kenny have some more freedom. Like, okay, Kenny, what do you think we should do? You know, what's your input? What do you think we got to do, man? The game's on the line. What do you think we should do?
Yeah.
And videos were circulating that, yes, he called an audible on Warren's touchdown. And whether you want to believe this or not, because they tend to show Canada too much.
Yeah.
But when Warren scored, it showed Canada not very excited.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Was that for the Najee touchdown?
Yeah, I think
he got hyped for the Warren touchdown.
Yeah.
For the Najee touchdown,
he was just like, bland.
But granted, like that's I don't know. That's what people are thinking. That's not. We don't know if that's true or not. But yes, Kenny called an audible on Najee's touchdown.
Yeah.
Yes, that is very evident.
Yeah.
So perhaps that is why it has to be, because Canada never did that before.
No.
There's no reason for me to believe that Canada was fully behind it because he's never done it. We've watched this bastard for 3 fucking years. He's never done that. He could have stepped up, but fuck you. No. Like, no, dude. Like, no, I'm not giving you any fucking credit. If you did, good job, okay? You had some influence. Good. You're listening to your quarterback. Good. But I don't think it was all you, my boy.
I don't know if we'll ever know, truly. They're not going to want that information out.
I just know by watching.
Yeah.
I've watched.
I mean, truly, if you really look, if you really watch, I mean, it's not too hard to tell.
Dude, we've sadly watched every single play that this guy has called since being OC. Every single play.
Yep.
With 4 different quarterbacks, and nothing's changed.
Yep. It's going to continue.
Yeah.
It's going to continue.
Jags winning 26-17, says J.R. Board with a 199.
JR, I hope not.
The built-in audibles are from Canada. I did hear Kenny say that they did start incorporating that stuff for the Ravens game. So like Kenny's touchdown, he noticed it was cover 0, no safety up top. It was 1-1 coverage. Mm-hmm. So he audibled, motioned protection to the right, and went deep for Pickens 1-on-1. You gotta love that matchup any time of the game. So
now
perhaps yes, they are incorporating audibles, and they are trusting Kenny more in reading defenses and making the necessary changes on the field.
But my question is, why wait till after the bye?
Before
the bye?
Well, why wait this long?
Yeah.
Why wait this long?
Like, you had this man as your OC for 3 years. Like, why at that moment?
I guess better late than never.
Sure, but I mean, why shouldn't it be in there? Why is it not in there since day one?
Right.
You should be prepared for anything.
Right.
I don't know.
I'm thinking Kenny have to start Peyton Manning, Matt Canada's plays. Oklahoma, as you know, Peyton often audible at the line. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was mentally smart.
Yeah.
He was mentally a football genius. He just knew how to read defenses. He was, how do I explain it, dude? He was just, he was just so knowledgeable at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. So
knowledgeable on the field. And that's kind of where Kenny's strengths are. So once they start incorporating these audibles, like you guys are mentioning, that's where he steps up. That's when he can make the necessary changes and the audibles, and that's probably why we get some plays going. That's why we've gotten scores. And maybe that's them trusting their quarterback. Maybe that's giving Kenny more freedom. We don't truly know everything. That honestly could just be a theory, but it seems that way because they weren't doing that with Kenny before. But now they are incorporating that, and Kenny did admit that in interviews. So that's some adjustment. That is some trust to Kenny, and Kenny has so far done well with that. So as long as we continue to see that, then yes, Kenny can continue to grow.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Canada can't stay here.
No, hell no.
Why don't we play better at home? I don't know. Outside the one blowout versus the Texans, we have done pretty decent on the road. I will say.
Yeah. But the ball's in our favor for the next 3 games.
Yes. So we better start stepping up at home, man. The Heinz Field crowd deserves it. We going to get any more Fire Canada chants?
If the offense plays as advertised, yeah. Yeah. I would highly expect it.
Right.
Come on, three straight home games. There's bound to be a chant.
Yeah, you're right.
Whether it's the Jags game, Titans game, it doesn't matter. There's bound to be at least one.
Yeah, you're right.
There's bound to be one.
That's true. Hope Kenny gets better as year goes on like last year. I think he will. I think he will too, Derek. I really do think he kind of already is. He's still a question mark in accuracy and pocket presence and pocket everything, but he is stepping up in better decisions. He is starting to be a little more safer with the football. I like to see him stretch the field a little more.
Of course.
But in terms of like staying in the pocket and trying to be comfortable and trusting the line and making his reads, that has been noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
That has been noticeable on the field. I think we win this weekend. We will be 12-4 in our last 16 games. Are you saying we have been 12-4 in our last 16?
We will be if we win. If we win this weekend, we will be 12-4 in our last 16 games. Because we went 6-2.
Right.
6-2, and then we only lost 2, you know?
I don't know how. That doesn't even sound realistic, but it is.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't.
How?
I don't know,
That
dude.
doesn't even sound right. Sure as fuck don't feel like it, let me tell you.
The Steeler way, bro. Man, like...
I feel like losing D. Johnson at wide receiver ended up helping Kenny. I feel like Kenny was easily seeing Johnson. Remember, DJ has been out since week 1. The loss is now a gain for Pickett. I mean, that's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
The only player that shows up is Pickens and Boswell. Offensively, yes. And we can't forget Warren. I'll throw Najee out there, but more so Warren.
Yeah.
More so Warren. Seems to me like Kenny had no problem finding his receivers, but especially Deontae Johnson. I think this next game is going to be huge for the offense. Johnson is a big plus in the passing game. Yeah. We have a newfound appreciation for Deontae. We absolutely do.
Yeah. The guy just knows how to get separation when the ball is in his hands and if he goes the right way. No, I'm just kidding.
Which he has. Yeah.
He has, yeah. Again, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
His,
like, it came up big last week.
His yak ability is very efficient.
You know, the guy gets his targets, without a doubt.
Oh, he's always going to get his targets.
Yeah.
But yes, he was very efficient with yak ability and being trustworthy in the passing game. So as long as we keep him healthy, yes, it's going to be a big add for Kenny and for this offense and for Pickens. They're going to benefit off each other.
Yeah.
As long as it continues, as long as Johnson doesn't get in his head like he has been for years now, he's going to be a very fine receiver for us. He has been. He always has been.
As long as the reoccurring issues that he had in previous years doesn't come up again, I think we'll be fine.
Right.
I think we will be fine.
Because then he can work on being more consistent and living up to that contract.
Exactly.
That's always been his issue. So hopefully he's starting to get to that marker now. Let's see. Yeah. DJ said on Moat Show that he's good to go.
Yeah. So
no concern on the hamstring injury whatsoever. Same thing with JPJ. So I know we have some new new players on the injury report today, but I don't think it's much of a concern. Ogunjobi might be a little bit of a concern, but we'll see what his participation is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I know he had a foot injury for the first half of the year, and then the bye helped him, and now he has a shoulder injury. Johnson and Porter should be fine. So we should be getting Anthony McFarland back, so look forward to him returning kicks again for this Jags game. That'll be good to get him back. He looked good in week 1, so hopefully he can continue to build his name there. So, I mean, the team, is looking decent from that aspect. We just got to hope this team can show up when they need to.
Yeah.
And they did that last week. They did that versus the Ravens. I will give them that. But I think we all agree, man, we need to start seeing it for a full 60 minutes.
Yeah, just better production.
That's not the expectation, but that is that's obviously what we need.
Yeah, just a little bit more progress and production on the field is all we ask.
Right.
You know, nothing of the same stuff, you know.
Right. Yes, we have to get Deontae in the end zone. Yes, it's been a while. It's been a while. Yeah, when was the last time he had a touchdown? When Ben, he hasn't caught a touchdown since Ben was quarterback.
It's been since the Chiefs playoff game.
Bro, he hasn't scored a touchdown since Ben was the quarterback. That is terrible.
Yep.
And that was almost 2 years ago. Wow. Does he score this weekend? Should I bet on that?
Then I wouldn't.
He said, don't do it.
I wouldn't.
I'll be the sucker to do it. Kenny's got to throw one this week, right? He didn't throw one last week.
It's average for Kenny, at least one. So
why has Fitzpatrick not gotten any picks this year? Because he's playing linebacker. He's in the box too much. They're blitzing him too much. He's successful at it. He's successful at everything he does.
but he shouldn't have to do it.
He's being used wrong.
You put him back up top. That's where he is best at, especially if you're going to stick around with your corners if you don't make a trade.
Didn't we ask the same question in 2021? Oh, why is Minka not being Minka? Where's the splash plays from Minka? Because we got so used to it.
Yeah, the man had 120 tackles that year.
Yeah, because he has to be the cleanup guy for the defense because everyone else is not doing their job. He's got to make the tackles at the second or third level. He's got to be playing by the line of scrimmage.
He's literally the cleaner. Like, come on.
Literally.
Shouldn't have to be.
Exactly. So
No free safety should have to be your cleaner.
No.
It's ridiculous.
No. So, yeah, we got to get him going in the back secondary. Who do you want in there, prime Lawrence Taylor or prime Joe Green? I mean, they're both arguably the best of all time.
Yeah. At their positions.
Because they both play different positions.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe Green was a menace, dude. I mean, he benefited everybody. When he was one-on-one, it was a mismatch. When he was double-teamed, it was still a mismatch.
Yeah, everybody else, man.
When he got double-teamed, everyone else benefited.
Yeah.
I mean, LT, though, was probably the best defensive player of all time.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's a great all-around linebacker.
yeah,
Could get sacks, could get picks, just freakish.
right. The ground game may have to be a factor in this game. It's supposed to rain. I also think this is one of the games where Minka shows up and changes the game. This is that game. I like your thinking.
That's right, yeah.
I like your thinking.
I did check, yeah, it is supposed to rain Sunday
Yeah, let me see.
in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
It's supposed to be like
weather.
heavy precipitation.
Well, guess what? Jacksonville is not used to that.
No.
Yeah, it is supposed to rain on Sunday.
Could work in our favor.
Jacksonville is not used to that, dude. Don't they play in a dome?
What, Jacksonville?
No, they don't play in a dome.
No, it never rains in Florida. At least as far as I know.
Unless it's a hurricane.
Yeah.
They're not used to that weather.
No, they're not.
They're
It's
not-
always raising sunshines, maybe some cloudiness, but no rain.
Yes.
That's it.
They are absolutely not used to that. So yeah, it could be a factor, man. I didn't even think of that. That would be great.
Yeah.
In that case, yeah, we're gonna try to get a ground game going, but we gotta slow down theirs because either way, like if it's gonna rain, it's gonna be very, very old school, very old school. But we gotta be able to find success because the Jags are good at stopping that. Hey guys, how you guys doing? I got a trade idea. What do you think about trading Harris for Surtain and trade a late round pick for Israel? Running back from the Jets, who obviously is a running back from
Pittsburgh.
former Pittsburgh Panther playing with Kenny.
Yeah.
Could do that. Because he's lost in the shuffle. He's a good back. He's just lost in a deep running back room.
I mean, they only use one, though.
I don't hate it. I've never been opposed to trading Najee. But in that case, we're going to need another running back. But you already thought the idea of getting Izzy.
Yeah, so you have... If that were to happen... Warren.
I don't hate the idea.
Warren, you would have
because
McFarland as the number 2 and Israel as the number 3 since he's a rookie.
They're not going to want a running back because they already got Javonte. They got that new guy they got.
Yeah, this is 7th rounder or undrafted rookie.
Yeah.
He's already the second stringer.
So they don't need running back. So it would be less cost effective to get Surtain, but they don't need Najee.
Yeah, and just straight up Najee and Surtain, that itself wouldn't work. I mean,
I've never been opposed to trading Najee. I still entertain the idea, honestly, secretly. But they don't need running back, and I don't think they would even entertain that idea. But I do like your thinking there. But I would just... I'd give him Wallace in a second rounder, dude. That's what I'd do.
Yeah.
So
can't hurt to try.
Yeah, exactly. Wallace did pretty good last year. I had high hopes. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
age caught up to him.
He wasn't as burnt as he was this year, and he had like 4 interceptions.
No, I mean, it's like the Keller Witherspoon effect. You know?
Yeah, a little bit.
He has that potential, but boy, is he so inconsistent.
Oh my God, he's consistently bad.
I heard they might get DeAndre Hopkins. No, they are not getting DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know why that's coming up. I don't know why it seems like everyone that's on the trade market, that everyone thinks that the Steelers are a favorite. No. We're not getting Deontay Hopkins.
No.
We don't need him. We should not get him.
Nor
Makes
that
no sense.
Nor that contract. Absolutely not. No, thank you.
No, that makes no sense.
No.
Like, what?
It doesn't make any sense.
Hey, do you have a struggling cornerback that gets burnt every goddamn week? Well, here you go. Let's have an aging wide receiver. What? Who?
And D-Hop, he's still good, but he's not consistent anymore.
No.
He is not consistent anymore.
No.
So no thank you.
He's like Julio.
No thank you.
He's like Julio. And Julio's with the Philly right now, bro. Not doing nothing. So I don't know who started that, but that's just silly. That is absolutely silly.
Well, when it comes to receivers for the Steelers, like on the trade block, why are you thinking Steelers need them? No, we don't. You know who we are?
I'm gonna search.
Do you not remember a receiver we traded for in the offseason that we don't use?
Okay, well, I'm because I'm curious, right? I'm very curious. I just searched up Steelers trade rumors on Google.
Oh boy.
I want to see what Bleacher Report, because this is from Bleacher Report. This was a week ago. Is it gonna load? Hello.
Give it a minute.
There we go.
It's working.
This is from Bleacher Report. It said 3 players Steelers must consider trading for after 2023 deadline. Azeez Al-Shaair, linebacker from the Titans. Do we need another linebacker though?
Probably wouldn't hurt, but I think we're already loaded though at the position.
Yeah. Denico Autry, defensive lineman. I kind of like that idea.
That wouldn't be bad. Although I never really looked at D-line as a must grab.
But that just means Benton's not going to play anymore.
Yeah, just play Benton more for God's sake.
Brian Burns. Why?
What?
Who made this article?
Watt, Highsmith, Herbig, Marcus Golden.
Where the fuck would Brian Burns play in this defense? And he's
I'm surprised they didn't say Chase Young.
Why the fuck would we get Brian? He's not even big enough to play interior.
No. You're gonna.
He's not big enough to play.
Well, keep in mind. The Panthers.
What?
Panthers declined. What was it? 2 first-round picks and something from the Rams. They said no to that. So it's like they're gonna say yes now. And to the Steelers of all teams when we don't need them.
Joe Tanzi. Joe Tanzi made that.
Yeah, I would have to disagree with Joe here.
Wow. That's just stupid.
No,
that's
thank
just
you.
Stupid.
No, thank you.
Wait, what? Interesting. Okay, so we got another article from Behind the Steel Curtain. It says 4 perfect trades for the Steelers to make before the deadline. It says trade number 1. Steelers receive 2024 5th-round pick. The Giants receive Dan Moore.
I mean,
then who's your backup tackle?
Who's your swing tackle? You don't have one. You don't have one.
For the right cost, I would absolutely trade Dan Moore, but I honestly wouldn't trade Dan Moore. I entertained it after the draft, but that's also because I thought we would have started Broderick Jones immediately and we would have had better depth. And we don't.
Not only that, you can still experiment Dan Moore at right tackle too, because I don't know if Chucks is going to be hanging around after this year.
He shouldn't.
So
I would experiment.
If you want to do that experiment, I'm not opposed to that at all.
Yeah, I would experiment Dan Moore at right tackle, but have an absolutely good backup plan.
Yeah, you need that for sure.
Well, maybe that's a trade for next year.
Maybe.
Trade number 2. Steelers receive 2025 6th-round pick. Bills receive Levi Wallace. Please.
See? Why not? Yeah.
We mentioned that last. How many
freaking times? You want to mention it again Sunday? I guarantee you.
Trade number 3. Titans receive 2024 6th-round pick. Steelers receive Terrell Edmonds.
You want to get Edmonds back? You want to tag him along back with me?
I like that idea.
The
Titans are just trying to rake any picks they can get. I like that idea. Trade number 4. Panthers receive 2024 4th and 2024 7th. Steelers receive Deontae Jackson.
I think it's a little too much. It might be a little too much for a guy like him, and he hasn't really been that good.
He's a speedster, but that's it.
That's it.
He's 27. He's on the back end of his career, and frankly, he sucks.
Yeah, I think the passer rating he's allowed is almost near perfect.
Yeah, he sucks. He sucks.
And he was extended not too long ago, too, by the Panthers. So it's like, that's wasted money.
Yeah.
At that point.
We need a center, a real center. I agree. Trade for Adam Thielen? Do we need...
No, we don't need Thielen.
Well, we need receiver depth. So I don't blame people for saying, hey, we should go for a receiver.
Well, we got 4 solid guys, if we use them right.
Yeah.
DJ, GP, Allen Robinson, and Kevin Austin.
They need Patrick Surtain or Trevon Diggs. Well, Trevon Diggs is out for the rest of the year. And he's statistically one of the worst cover guys in the NFL.
This year, he's doing solid in coverage, but then the ACL injury happened.
Yeah.
It sucks for him.
If we get PS2, we go into the Super Bowl. I wouldn't go that far, but yeah. that would be him or Jalen Johnson, like we mentioned earlier, would be... That's the only thing the Steelers should have in mind right now.
There would be big upgrades.
If you want to get a safety, go for it. You want to get a center, go for it. But we need secondary help. We need corner help. Go big or go home. That should be the only thing on Khan's mind. Just Halloween.
If you're not able to execute a trade, at least I want to hear is that you try to acquire one.
Yes.
At that position.
No, they're gonna call. They're gonna listen. Will anything be done? I don't think so, but maybe.
Nah, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see what happens. Otherwise, man, I think we're going to get on out of here. We've been alive for about 1 3/4 hours. So,
yeah.
Feels good, man, to get another live stream done for this week, as well as the Jags preview and discuss some trade options, man. I think that entire trade talk segment we had, we're going to clip and make that a separate upload. So if you guys see that in your sub boxes this week, yes, it's a replay from this, but it's also to kind of make that a separate video because that itself is a separate topic.
Yeah.
And
it's just more content for you guys.
Absolutely. So, yeah, we're going to crop that and get that upload probably for tomorrow. Otherwise, I guess we'll see you guys for this game on Sunday for the Steelers-Jags game. There's a little to be worried about in this one, but it is winnable, and maybe the Steelers can maybe somehow, some way show up and ease out another victory. It won't be pretty. It never will be, but maybe somehow, maybe.
Just maybe. You know, the standard is the standard nowadays. So just maybe.
Again, there's either two things going to happen. Either we're going to get blown out or the Steelers are going to edge out a victory in gritty fashion.
No in between.
Very much like the Rams game. But we got the Jags, 4-game win streak versus the Steelers, 2-game win streak.
One streak is definitely bound to end.
Yeah. Who's going to be the Brock Lesnar to the Undertaker? I have no clue. Hopefully it's us to the Jags. But if we win 3 straight, I don't know how, but just win somehow. Just keep raking out wins. I know if we keep raking out wins, nothing's going to change. But
I think regardless, nothing will.
You're right.
Yeah, because I don't see this team going on a full-blown losing streak out of nowhere.
No.
That's just not how Tomlin works. That's not how Tomlin works.
That's just not how, I don't know.
That's not how this team works in general.
Like, it should, but...
Statistically, yes.
It should, but it doesn't.
No.
It's pure luck.
Well, eventually that's bound to run out. It's just a matter of when. Could it be Sunday? I don't know.
Our luck is going to run out soon, but somehow, some way, we're riding the luck train up until then. This is game 2 of what's going to be a long second half stretch. So just keep preparing, keep getting used to it, and let's prepare for Sunday versus the Jags before we got a short week at home versus the Titans. So maybe we can get it 3 straight. We already got an AFC South rival or AFC South team to face before we face another one.
Yeah, so. And it's an old rival of ours, an old AFC Central rival of ours.
Jags always play us tough, but who knows? Maybe the Steelers got their number this time. We'll see what happens. Otherwise, at the end of the day, here we go. Steelers somehow, some way get the dub. We're going to need our playmakers to step up and win the game for us as they have been doing all year. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Otherwise, let us know you guys' thoughts and picks down below. In fact, that's going to be how we end the stream. Who do you guys think is going to win this game? Steelers or Jags? If you guys want to put any score predictions or some statistical predictions, feel free to put it in the live chat. Who do you think is going to win, Steelers or Jags? Otherwise, we're going to get on out of here. You guys enjoy the rest of your night, the rest of your week. And if you guys are doing anything fun this weekend outside of watching the Steelers game, be safe. We know it's a holiday weekend. Things are going to get wild and crazy. So wherever you guys are doing this weekend, have fun, enjoy yourself, but be safe while doing it. And you know what? The Steelers themselves are just going to force things to happen. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. You guys are saying Steelers 23-20, 27-14, Pittsburgh, Steelers 21-17, Jags 24-13, Steelers 31. You have us scoring 31 points, my boy?
When was the last time you scored 30 points?
I couldn't tell you.
I couldn't tell you either.
I couldn't tell you.
Maybe that's a bold prediction.
That's a bold prediction.
Maybe that's a bold prediction.
Maybe. But I kind of like it. Who knows? Who knows, man? Maybe Kenny and the passing offense want to start striking this time around.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Otherwise, again, enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the rest of your week. Have a great weekend. See you guys Sunday, man. Here we go, Steelers.
As always, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later.
Peace!
You knocked the coin jar
I just
over.
knocked the coins over. Damn it!
Oh, my Lord.
I just knocked the swear jar over.
Well, at least it was coins and not like a beverage or whatnot. What are you doing?
I'm going to count these.
Right now?
We have
Oh, God.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, $1, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 180, 190, 2 and a quarter, 215, 216, 217, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 42, 52. We have $2.52 left in the swear jar.
Barely half for... That's half a gas. Half a gallon of gas right there.
That's terrible. That's terrible. Yeah, we're going to need more coins for the swear jar because we already know, man.
We'll work on that for Sunday.
We're going to have to work on that.
Nonetheless, we got the Jags, you know. As a matter of fact, yeah, AFC Central, 2 AFC Central rivals. Remember Tennessee?
Yeah,
The
exactly.
old Houston Oilers days, man.
Yeah, dude, we're gonna have some fun, man.
We got some rich history against these next two opponents.
Damn, hey, you guys ready to watch 2 Steelers games in a week? That's gonna be fun, man. I hate short weeks, but we're gonna get to experience 2 weeks of two games of stressful Steelers football
I don't know how,
in 1 week.
I honestly don't know how we're gonna be able to handle ourselves.
I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know how I feel about that. Fuck.
We'll be prepared. We'll come prepared.
Swear jar.
And yes, Mercs, you're right. Fire Canada.
Oh yeah, please.
Always. Forever and ever.
That's never gonna end. Even if he gets fired, still fire him. Something.
Get him at.